Welcome to a short presentation that will briefly look at the differences of the quality of life around a few parts of Lagos to help us build up a general pattern. It's always a good idea to start by locating your case study. Lagos is a thriving city growing rapidly. It's located 467 miles southwest of the Nigerian capital Abuja on the coast of the Atlantic Ocean. It has grown so much due to its natural lagoon having access to the sea, enabling foreign trade. Lagos is currently the second largest city behind Cairo in Africa in terms of population, with 15.3 million people estimated to live there. However, because it appears to generate lots and lots of wealth, it's attracting over 86 migrants every single minute of the day to come and live here, and it's expected to triple in size by 2050. Pause the show and make some notes from this slide. I would personally start my case study answer with Lagos is a megacity in southwest Nigeria, West Africa, before moving on. There are two important terms we need to understand for this presentation. They've been set out on the screen like revision cards, which are well worth making throughout this show. The first term is standard of living. Standard of living is the level of wealth and comfort that can be bought in a particular area. This is simply about money and how far it will go. The other term we're looking at is quality of life. Quality of life for urban studies then is how people feel about the housing standards and the environmental conditions that they live in. This could include a range of other things from access to employment, education, freedom, health provision, to how clean the air and water is around where they live. Make a note of these before moving on. Lagos is rapidly growing. It's already 3/4 of the size of Greater London. Many of the migrants who will be arriving today in Lagos will have been forced to migrate due to poverty from where they currently live, mainly in the Nigerian countryside, and they're moving in the hope that they can earn some money to send back to their families. With no money or belongings, they have to find somewhere to live for free. This may be by the railway line or under a road bridge with no access to any basic amenities that we take for granted. The government just simply can't keep up providing for all these migrants and all these people suddenly arriving in the city. Some of these new migrants go and try and live in the growing Olusosun landfill rubbish site in the hope that they can at least make a house out of other people's rubbish and try and find work as scavengers there. These people have a very low quality of life and standard of living, even compared to others in Lagos. Pause the show and make notes about these residents of Lagos and where they live, their daily struggle, and how little they own before moving on. Lagos has 13 shanty towns around the city. Makoko is just one of these, built into the lagoon. This illegal self-built settlement has grown rapidly, with estimates of up to 250,000 people living there in their wooden houses on stilts. People live here and want to because they are unable to afford normal houses in Lagos, but want a better life than living under the road bridges or on the Olusosun landfill site. The standard of living for the people of Makoko is very low, with many residents still too poor to be able to buy essentials for daily life. Here, they have tried to do their best they can by simply creating homes and a community based around the lagoon. Quality of life is not very good, with many having no proper toilets, electricity or clean water. Many people become ill around the polluted lagoon. Pause the show and make some notes about Makoko Shantytown in Lagos and the issues that make their quality of life poor before moving on. The very opposite of most people's lives in Lagos is the man-made Banana Island, which caters for the very rich and famous, such as footballers and Nollywood movie stars. It has 14 luxury tower blocks overlooking the lagoon, each with private member health clubs, swimming pools and extensive gardens. All homes on the island are provided with utilities such as underground electrical system, clean water supply, there's a central sewage system, street lighting, as well as excellent IT facilities, better than anywhere else found in many of our homes. The carefully planned Banana Island also includes a clubhouse, schools, fire and police stations, and a medical clinic to provide excellent facilities for these rich residents of Lagos. Every year, they even celebrate the diversity and cultural differences of the very rich residents with a culture festival, since they have residents from all over the world living there. Pause the show and make some notes on how the good quality of life is for these Lagos residents. Here we have a basic overview of what we have looked at, starting with newly arrived migrants who are arriving even as I speak from the rural areas with few belongings and no home to go to. These migrants are very poor and have a very low quality of life. We then looked at the unique Makoko shanty settlement, which began as a fishing village over 100 years ago. Today it's home to over 100,000 residents in wooden houses on stilts above the lagoon. These homes, with no basic plumbing or electric, have an uncertain future from rising sea levels and the threat of being pulled down by the Lagos government. Finally, we had a look at the man-made luxury Banana Island. Here, people's quality of life is superb, with very high standard of living for all residents having access to anything money can buy. All parts of Lagos, though, are located on very low-lying land, with the highest point on Lagos Island itself being only just 7 metres above sea level. So all parts really face a very uncertain future. Pause the slide and just double check that your notes all match up before having a go at the exam question next. This shows a typical exam question. Examine how ways of life vary within one LIDC or EDC, worth 8 marks. Before I start, I've boxed the command word examine, which means look in close detail and include some key facts about the case study. The question is about the underlined part, how ways of life vary within an LIDC city, in this case Lagos. So why not use all the notes that you have made from this presentation to pause the show and have a go at the exam question, comparing the different areas that we've looked at in Lagos and how their ways of life vary between them.